Come on, man. Anyway, whatever. So, let's get into the pièce de résistance. So, as most of you guys know, Brendan Schaub is having a bit of a back and forth with Dana White. And it all kind of stems from UFC 279. So, UFC 279, there's this weird conspiracy theory that went around it because of what happened with Khamzat Chimaev and the weigh-ins and him missing weight, and then UFC having to step in and do some last-minute changes to the fight card, which meant, Nate Diaz had to fight Tony Ferguson, and then Khamzat Chimaev, had to then go and fight Kevin Holland. Some fans or some people were floating the idea around that maybe the UFC purposely made Khamzat miss weight because they realized after the fact that maybe the matchup between Khamzat and Nate was a really one-sided one. And Khamzat would have ran through Nate and made it look like flipping light work. If you made Kevin Holland look like light work, imagine what he would have done to Nate Diaz. So people were hypothesizing or putting out this idea, this conspiracy theory, that maybe the UFC did it on purpose. Like they did it on purpose, like, to try to drive up sales by having this weird mismatch. It didn't work. They didn't have enough pay-per-views, and then they went to switch it last minute and make it compelling because Khamzat and Kevin Holland's crew had a bit of a beef behind the scenes. So if they made this fight between Khamzat and Kevin, there'll be a story and narrative there. Then you can have Nate Diaz facing Tony Ferguson, who's another legend that they should have fought for a long time, but they didn't. So that's the whole conspiracy theory around it, right? It's a really weird one. Doesn't really make much sense, but that's kind of where the conspiracy theory kind of lies, right? From what I can understand. But as per usual, for the benefit of the video, let's just put on the article here that kind of describes it a bit better in case you guys didn't understand my fucked up English. So it is courtesy of MMA Mania, not SB Nation. So as following. Did Khamzat Chimaev purposely miss weight? Or did the promotion capitalize on a Boar's misstep to save a dying fight card? Both conspiracies are on the table this week after the Friday's weigh-in disaster, which resulted in 3-fight shuffle, including UFC 279 main and co-main events. Former UFC heavyweight and attraction-turned-wacky stand-up comedian Brendan Schaub told his Twitter followers that Chimaev's epic scale fail may have been allowed the promotion to rework it. So this is Brendan Schaub's tweet, right? That kind of maybe shed light on the conspiracy theory. But that conspiracy theory already existed, but he shed light on it. But to be fair to Brendan, let's be fair to him also. This was also a very clever way to market his own fight. What's it called? Sorry, Thick Boy Fight News. So obviously he's trying to boost the views on that, get that going. He's got his own YouTube thing started up. So this is all, I think, a calculated attempt to get himself in the news, get himself some virality and all that stuff. And to be honest, it's kind of worked because everyone doesn't like him anyway. So they're willing to kind of stick their foot in there and, or kick him while he's quote unquote down. But he obviously still gains from it by getting the coverage. So he says as follows. The original tweet from his network says, breaking, Dana White now says major changes to UFC 279 card. Nate Diaz v Tony Ferguson, Khamzat Chimaev versus Kevin Holland. Both fights will be 5 rounds. Then Brendan quotes that and says, thank God, hashtag UFC 279 is still happening, but doesn't it all seem a little fishy? Are all 3 main fights get switched? I don't know if why is it instead of it's like you're hungry, but hey, who knows? Hashtag conspiracy, hashtag earth is not flat. So, clearly trying to get in there, make a bit of a joke, not funny, but you get it. Schaub's theory led to an immediate Twitter response from retired UFC Ben Askren, who suggested the promotion was not in the conspiracy theory business last weekend, primarily because it cost Dana White and it's out of pocket to repair the tattered fight card. Yeah, so obviously Ben Askren kind of put him in his place. Brendan Schaub replied and said, I agree. I'm sure everyone got paid. I don't think it's due to Khamzat missing weight. I think it got switched due to UFC 279 not trending well since it was such a mismatch. I don't get this conspiracy theory, this idea that people won't watch mismatches. I think if you wanted to put a fight with fucking TJ Dillashaw and fucking Francis Ngannou, that would sell fucking mad amount of tickets. People would go. People want to see that. People like to see freak shows, like to see freak events. What's that? Do you guys remember that video of that woman? It looks like a mum, just like a Karen, and she gets into the ring with like a trained fucking MMA fighter woman, and she absolutely obliterates her in like 5 seconds. People pay tickets to watch that fight also. And that video has got many millions of views. So this idea that mismatches don't sell well is really, really dumb. Maybe fight cards with fighters that people don't know or aren't invested in, fair enough, but not mismatches. You say mismatch, they say televised execution. Either way, UFC veteran and renowned MMA coach Pat Miletich got dragged into the back and forth. Okay, cool. So anyway, so that's the kind of the background of it, right? The conspiracy theory. Then, to make matters worse, I guess the conspiracy theory found its way back to flipping. No, that's conspiracy theory I want to talk about. Yeah, let me continue. Let's fill it in again. So this is then Brendan Schaub going on his own show, the Schaub Show, and filling in more details as to why he thinks the thing he thinks, right? This is him kind of explaining it. It's a 5-minute clip. I do apologize. You have to listen to him try to pontificate and make it make sense. But this is Brendan Schaub talking about the entire thing and why he thinks UFC 279 was a conspiracy and it was all a concerted effort by UFC to get more tickets and pay-per-views for their event. Which I also don't see why that's a bad thing. But anyway, let's continue.
Remember, this all started off with the weigh-ins. And Dana gets on the mic and goes, for the first time ever, we're going to have to cancel weigh-in. It's mayhem. They didn't have the security. It was chaos back there. No doubt. Chaos. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, also, what'd you expect when you have guys like Nate Diaz, Tony Ferguson, Hamzat, Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez? Like, you're dealing with some wild boys, man. You lined up. This should be UFC 279 fucking bad boys. Like, you line up the dudes who give no F's given, man. And you guys, everybody knows this. You know these guys can mouth off. You know Hamzat and Holland have an issue with each other. You know Nate Diaz has an issue with everybody. You look at him wrong, he's going to fight you. If you were hired for Showtime to, promote Conor McGregor and it's a paid gig, he's not going to enjoy that. He's going to try and fight you, even though you're in Gucci boots and tight jeans, okay? That's Nate Diaz, bro. So... you know what you're...
He's still pissy about that Nick Diaz interaction. How long ago did that happen? That was many, many years ago, right? Conor McGregor versus fucking Floyd Mayweather. And he's still butthurt about Nick Diaz giving him the finger. Nick Diaz gives everyone the finger. It's not that big of a deal. He said, go fuck yourself, suck my dick, whatever he said. Like, who gives a shit, man? Like, God damn it, man. This guy thinks like everybody has to like him. It's a very, very bizarre way to kind of operate and navigate the world. I'm glad I'm not like that. Like, so what? He doesn't like you. And just keep it moving.
You're dealing with is the point here. So those weigh-ins, which I've been in a significant amount of them, over, 15 of them probably, in big events, especially pay-per-views.
Well, humble brag.
You got to realize there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times 2 is 26. So you have 26 professional fighters on this pay-per-view card. Each one of those 26 fighters has a team. So you got to realize they're all in the back there sitting because it's roped off, right? So the fans can't see the back there of all the fighters, and most of them, especially there's only a few heavyweights on this card. I think one heavyweight fight was on this card, right? Yeah, I think so. So you have, your one heavyweight fight, but for the most part, everybody back there's just barely getting by. They're low energy, cranky, freaking no nutrients, depleted of water. They just want to get on the scale and get out of there, right? But you gotta remember, those 26 fighters have their camp comes with them to these weigh-ins. So 26, let's say being friendly, and there's way more guys like this. Let's say I have those 26 guys, each person gets 3 cornermen. So 26 guys, 26 times 3 is what?
I'm gonna do it right now because I cannot do math. 78, yeah.
78. So and this is just being conservative. You have 78 people back there. Fight teams, coach.
You know what's funny? This is the most articulate I've ever heard Brendan be in his entire, flipping podcasting career, when he has to flipping expound upon a conspiracy theory that he's made up in his head in an effort to get himself more, in an effort to get himself more attention online or something. This is legitimately the most articulate I've ever heard him be. He's actually pronouncing his words, He's enunciating properly. He's not making up weird phrases. He's actually, he's basically explaining and laying out what his conspiracy theory is in a pretty reasonable way. It's absolutely quite impressive. It's obviously still redacted and dumb as hell, but he actually does sound like a normal human being.
Coaches, nutritionists, and then you have the fighters. There's not much to do back there. And this is even when I fought. And this was before cell phones or, people were addicted to them like they are now. There's nothing to do. Everybody's on their phone. every single person in the back of that weigh-in has their phone. Okay, cool. So you have, how many, Jay? 70-some people?
78.
78 people with their phones. Let's just be conservative and say freaking 50 of them have their phones out, which would be insane this day and age in the cell phone age we live in. So 50 people have their phones out. It was mayhem. It was crazy. People's heads were flying off. Freaking Hamzat, freaking Spartan kicked Kevin Holland. Nate Diaz got involved. And then freaking Daniel Rodriguez. And then Tony was upset and Nate was throwing things. And oh my God, we didn't have enough security. Right. Where's the footage? Nobody. No.
Hold on. Scrap everything I said in the beginning. So the basis of his conspiracy theory, or the origin of it, the seed that started all this, is because there's a lack of footage from the backstage of all the drama that happened with Kevin Holland and Hamzat Chimaev. That's the genesis of his flipping skepticism as to why they had to move the fight card around. Is he for real? Off the top of my head, I could think of many reasons why people wouldn't, number one, record, or number two, share the video. You don't want to get in Dana White's bad graces. It's pretty simple. It's a UFC event. Something crazy happens. No one wants to be the person responsible for sharing that video around and putting it out there because it makes the UFC look bad. And if it makes the UFC look bad, you're going to get punished by it. And if we know one thing for sure, Dana White is a flipping petty motherfucker. He holds grudges. So if he sees you and you put that video clip out and it goes viral and it gets the attention of flipping all these mainstream outlets and they start talking about how dangerous UFC is and how it's full of thugs and it makes him look bad and he has to go on flipping CNN and defend himself, he's going to make your life hell. He's going to whatever he's going to do, right? You know how Dana White moves. So it's no surprise that nobody in there that's got a brain would want to share that video, number one, if they have it, or even take the video because they're probably worried about protecting themselves. Well, I don't understand why this is such a mystery to him. There's no video. It's a UFC event. Why would there be a flipping video? I read, like, what? Dana White was there, wasn't he? Come on, man.
Nobody got anything? And then the build up to it, they show you this clip to show us the mayhem. Did you see the clip they posted? That's not mayhem. Maybe my definition of mayhem is a little different than the UFC. But you're going to cancel a weigh-in of a huge pay-per-view over that? It can't be the clip you showed me. There has to be more clips out there, right? Show me one clip. Go. Jim, bring it up. You can't.
I just saw a picture.
Yeah,
like
sure.
This.
Yeah.
That was it.
Mayhem, though.
I know.
Now,
Chin, don't agree with him. Chin, don't get sucked into Brendan Schaub's vortex of nonsense. This is insane. Brendan should even know. I bet there was plenty of things that Brendan saw during his time when he was in the UFC that he never spoke about because he didn't want to be put into flipping Dana White's bad graces. It makes complete sense. Why would you want to do that? Like, and if anything, wouldn't a fight outside of the octagon involving, flipping trained fighters be some sort of criminal offense anyway? Why would you want to share that footage? Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Why is this so, like, mysterious and doesn't make any sense? I don't get it.
Think about when DC, granted this was open to the public, think about when DC and John Jones fought. Remember that? And the little dude's in the middle and he's trying to stop and fucking terrified and they're fighting. How many clips do you see from the fans there?
Is he talking about the thing that happened at the weigh-ins? Oh no, at the press conference in front of the cameras. Is that what he's talking about? He's comparing that to something that happened behind the stage that no one else could see unless you were there behind, like backstage, basically. Is that what he's talking about? Or am I mistaken? He's talking about the times when DC and John Jones fought, and every time at the press conference, some sort of kerfuffle happened. I think the one where maybe John Jones pushed DC or kicked him, something happened, right? And they all started doing some argy-bargy. That happened on the press conference. Like, they were sitting on the table, shouting, whatever, screaming at each other, saying nonsense, throwing insults around. Then it got physical. But the cameras were rolling already. We flipping saw it. We weren't backstage. Honestly, am I going nuts? Or does this make complete sense why no one would have flipping shared it? Maybe I am. I don't know. But hey, let's continue.
Unreal. Thousands. You're telling me not one person got any footage? Nothing?
I like how he thinks he's being super smart with this as well. This is his big brain moment. Isn't it? This is like his triple digit IQ moment. He legitimately thinks he uncovered it. Like, ha ha! I got you. It's like, what?
Zero? Zilch? Just that one post to build up the pay-per-view that they aired on Saturday morning? That's it? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Now, do I think Hamzat and Kevin... Here's the other thing. Those 26 fighters, it's like the JFK thing where Callan, he wants to, his argument for every conspiracy is, you think all those people are in on it? I'm like, no, all those people aren't in on it. The main people who make decisions are in on it, 100%. Do I think Hamzat knew he was going to fight Kevin Holland? Yes. Do I think Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson might have had an idea? Yes. Outside of those four gentlemen, the four big boys that made the card.
Oh my God, this guy's so redacted. Oh my days. I can't believe that the genesis of this entire conspiracy theory for him, the entire thing, was because there was no videos from the fucking scuffle that happened behind the scenes. That's the reason why he's doubting the whole entire thing. Are you insane? That you can't maybe figure out and think with your own head critically why maybe people who are still on the UFC's roster, still not employed, but still work for the UFC, still part of that whole entire organization and whatnot, why they'll be hesitant to maybe release that footage. Come on, man! What is going on here? Jesus Christ, these people are honestly insane. Insane. Anyway, what can you do? Oh, we got a little super chat here I can see. Big up Colin Leach. Big up you. $4.99 super chat. Pull that up chin. Or pull that up clean. But yeah, let's go. And someone said earlier on as well, how much Adderall I'm on. Let's go. Oh, it's going to play now? There you go.
Pull that up, clean.
Nice. Someone asked earlier on today how much Adderall I'm on. I'm not on any Adderall, mate. You know what I'm on? I'm on pure cold brews. I've had about 4. So that's probably why I'm bouncing off the walls right now. I've had 4 cold brews. So big up me. My caffeine intake is high. I'm sweating. Woo! And we're doing this thing today. So let's roll. Anyway, so after all that stuff, obviously that conspiracy theory is Brendan putting it on wax. And then I guess Dana White had to respond to it because it's so redacted. He was getting asked many questions about it. He just had enough. I have to get this out of the way. And Dana White, Uncle Dana, sat down and answered the question that everybody wanted answering. And here's what the big, red, bald man had to say about the entire thing. Let me get it up on here. Hopefully it's going to load. There it is. It loaded properly. Get the volume up. Switch the scene. All handmade here. Let's go.
I heard this thing today. And again, I don't know how true it is or whatever, that like Pat Miletich was saying that this thing was, we told Hamzat not to make weight because we weren't selling tickets and we weren't. The fucking show was sold out going into that day of the weigh-ins. I don't know if Pat really said that, but if he did, he has to be the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. I mean, you know how fucking stupid you have to be to even think something like that, let alone say it publicly and act like you're fucking serious. Something else. If Pat really said that, it's fucking holy shit. We might have to send him out to the fucking clinic here, the brain clinic, get him fucking checked out. Done with me?
I believe that was Brendan Schaub who said that.
It was what?
Brendan Schaub who made up that conspiracy.
Oh, it wasn't Pat Miletich?
I think so.
Well, I apologize to Pat Miletich then. That makes sense.
Mic drop! Uncle Dana. Bruv, we all hate Uncle Dana. He runs the UFC like, the way he treats fighters is flipping terrible. Fighter pace terrible. The lack of flipping healthcare, medical care, all that stuff we know is absolutely garbage, right? The fact that they're flipping contractors and they're not flipping employed and all that sort of jazz, horrible. They're anti-union. But when it comes to him dunking on Brendan, everyone seems to be able to lap around it and have a good laugh. But let me play another video because the sound's a bit better in here. It's a bit louder so we can actually hear what he said because it's a little bit low. I'm going to play another video here that the sound's a bit higher. So
I heard
hopefully
this
you can
thing
hear
today,
this.
and again, I don't know.
It's playing.
How true.
Stop. So it's another video here. They're obviously going to play, and hopefully this will be a little bit louder so you can hear it, and we can go through it one more time.
I heard this thing today, and again, I don't know how true it is or whatever, that like Pat Miletich was saying that this thing was, we told Hamzat not to make weight because we weren't selling tickets and we weren't. The fucking show was sold out going into that day of the weigh-ins. I don't know if Pat really said that, but if he did, he has to be the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. I mean, you know how fucking stupid you have to be to even think something like that, let alone say it publicly and act like you're fucking serious. We're regulated by the Athletic Commission. And if you think that we told Hamzat Chimaev to not make weight, then Hamzat shows up and the fans are all pissed off at him and stuff, and he's going to just, I mean, and knowing, if you know anything about the sport, this is a guy that was actually in the sport, training and fighting and everything else. If Pat really said that, it's fucking, holy shit. We might have to send him out to the fucking clinic here, the brain clinic.
You know what's funny about this, right? That I think is funny about this? I have a feeling Dana White knew it was Brendan all along, but he was using Pat Miletich as a setup for the question at the end, because he kept repeating Pat's name all the time. If Pat really said that, he has to be the dumbest motherfucker, the most stupid. Who? And then the bit about, he was actually in the sport. He actually fought in the UFC. He knows what it's like. He knows the business behind the scenes. He knows what I'm like. He's interactive with me. He doesn't, you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. Like, he set it up in a way where if somebody did say, no, actually it wasn't Pat, it was Brendan, he had the perfect chance to do the mic drop moment. I honestly think my gut feeling is that Dana White knew Brendan Schaub said it, but didn't want to say Brendan Schaub's name because, you know, he probably thinks he's a flipping shit on his shoe after the whole back and forth they had before. He probably still hates him to his core. So he doesn't even have the... He doesn't even have the strength to say his name. That's how much he hates him. So he's using Pat's name as a way to kind of attack Brendan. That's my theory. Could be wrong, could be right. Who cares?
Get him fucking checked out. All right, buddy. Done with me?
I believe that was Brendan Schaub who said that.
It was what?
Brendan Schaub who made up that conspiracy.
Oh, it wasn't Pat Miletich?
I think so.
Well, I apologize to Pat Miletich then. That makes sense. Bye.
Epic mic drop from Uncle Dana, who we all hate, but then when he goes around and starts kicking Brendan, somehow the whole internet flipping gets around and kind of, you know, starts to be his friend again. It's absolutely insane to see it. Anyway.